So as you can see, there were at least one person who was a White House slave and wouldn't take freedom even when it was offered to him at least twice. But the majority of these men and women didn't want to be there. This was their life. This is what life handed them. And they made the best they could out of the life they had. Part of the reason why I got into this project is because these people's lives was truly invisible. We didn't know anything about them. We didn't know where they came from. We didn't know where they went after they finished their time at the White House with the presidents. Most of the presidents told their slaves that they would be freed after the presidents died. And many of them kept those promises. Some did not. Some presidents even said that we'll free you after I die or after my wife dies. Now, while that may seem to be altruistic on the part of the president, many of the first ladies who outlived their husbands had a little problem here. The people who were cooking their food, living in their house, who they depended on for their day-to-day lives, all they had between them and freedom was one person's life. So quite a few first ladies freed their household slaves before they died. And a couple of them even mentioned it in their letters that they thought it was prudent not to quite wait so long to free their slaves. Now, I've had a couple of people ask me since the book's been published, why is the book called The Invisibles? Part of the reason why I'm doing this is that a lot of these stories were not readily available. Because these people were enslaved, their lives were literally invisible. To find their stories, we had to go back and look in ledgers. We had to go back and read between the lines of presidential memoirs, read between the lines of presidential letters to try to piece together some of these stories, to give some of these people their names and their dignity back. A lot of the work is here, but one of the things I continually say is this is still just the first step. Because despite this being history, we're still finding out new things every day. I actually had someone email me just, 2 days ago, with a painting that she thought she found that could be our first time finding a true painting of Hercules, that she found that when she was in Italy. So we're still finding out new things every day. And so by collecting these stories, by talking about these people, we're giving these men and women, these slaves who lived inside the White House, a little bit back of what was taken from them. We're giving them a little bit of their history back. We're giving them a little bit of their life back. We're giving them a little bit of their dignity back. And hopefully, the more we talk about this, the more people read this, this will be a new chapter in our country's history. That when we look and we talk about the White House, we don't see just the president. We don't see just the first lady. We don't see just the first family. But we see the people who made the White House work in the earliest days of this country.